You almost killed me. Do you even realize that? I stared at those two familiar faces. Their hands froze midair, eyes wide with shock and fear. From that moment, I was no longer the child they could control. Every neglect, every insult, every shove aside had become a weapon in my hands. I made sure they had nowhere to hide, until they trembled, begged, and felt utterly powerless in front of me. That day, my father's voice slammed down from the staircase, cold, familiar in its disdain. You're causing trouble again? He stood at the end of the dim hallway, as if blaming a stray cat blocking his path. My mother leaned against the wall, arms crossed, throwing me a look of contempt. The hallway light flickered, and our shadows stretched and twisted across the floor. I stood at the bottom, forced to look up at them. But that day, I was no longer the child they thought I was. Father tossed his car keys onto the shoe cabinet with a clatter. School called again. You applied for a subsidy? Isn't that embarrassing? He didn't even glance at me while speaking. Mother followed, sharp and quick. With those grades, other kids make life easy for their parents. What do you give me besides headaches? They were perfectly in sync, pushing me back into the place they expected me to occupy. I stood silently. That day, I had just completed my withdrawal from school and held a 3-month internship acceptance letter in my hand. They didn't know, and they didn't care. Father frowned. Cat got your tongue? I'm asking you a question. I looked up. The subsidy? I applied for it myself. It's none of your concern. Those few words hit like a spark on dry grass. Mother froze. Father's gaze turned dangerous. They had never tolerated my independence. Growing wings, huh? Father sneered. Eating our food, living under our roof, and still daring to talk back. I said nothing. I was no longer the child afraid of arguments. From 15, I had been working odd jobs, packing, moving, filing, to save money. Returning home late at night meant a storm of curses. Yet I never explained. Every coin went hidden inside old books. At 17, I burned with fever, vision blurred to black. I asked my mother to take me to the hospital. She didn't even lift her head. Take some medicine. Don't bother anyone. That was when I realized, in their eyes, I wasn't a child. I was a bundle of obligations and inconvenience. So I learned to survive on my own, to endure, and to watch their weaknesses. Father craved face. Mother feared gossip. Their greatest weakness. They never once saw me as an opponent. In my senior year, I joined a government youth skills program. Passing the assessment earned me a paid internship with a chance for full employment, plus independent living subsidies. I quietly cleared every hurdle. I wanted to leave by my own action, not by pity. The school notified my guardians after I completed withdrawal. That night, conflict erupted. But this time, it wasn't about them deciding my future. It was about me deciding they would lose control over me. Standing under the streetlight for a few seconds that night, I confirmed I had finally stepped out of the shadow. The night wind brushed my face lightly. It felt like a new beginning. Leaving required precision. Revenge isn't an outburst, it's a structure. Step 1. Gather evidence. For months, I prepared in secret, organizing recordings of their abuse and shirking responsibility, saving videos of my father throwing me out, copying school and community records, and requesting the police reports from neighbors who had called during disputes. These weren't for accusations. They were for precise strikes. I dug deeper. Father cutting corners on materials and reselling them, mother hiding loans, unpaid property fees. Every crack they thought unseen. Living long enough in a twisted household teaches you to survive through loopholes. Every carefully kept record became a weapon. Step 2. Trigger the chain reaction. The first email went to my father's company HR, with photos and recordings of his violations, titled coldly, Internal Compliance Report. The second went to the collection agency tied to my mother's hidden loans, exposing her real income and hidden assets, preventing further delays. The third went to the local community office, requesting a review of long-standing family dispute records, with proof of repeated neighbor complaints. I knew exactly how these dominoes would fall. Step 3. Face the confrontation. 3 days later, the storm hit. Father stood outside on the phone, dignity shredded. Who's framing me? Where did this information come from? Spotting me, his eyes went dark instantly. Was it you? I said nothing, simply looked at him calmly. Mother rushed out. Are you crazy? Why are they saying I hid assets? They deflated like pierced balloons. Father grabbed my arm with a force that could have broken bones. I pressed play on the recorder. It captured him yelling at me to get out, useless. Mother's face drained of color. For the first time, Father realized the harm they inflicted could be turned into ironclad proof. Step 4. The final strike. I didn't call the police. I didn't sue. I distributed backups to those they feared most. Creditors, company regulators, the community. The consequences followed immediately. Father suspended pending investigation. Mother ordered to repay debts immediately. Community reviewing family status. Relatives notified to assist in family conflict inquiries. This wasn't emotional revenge. It was structured dismantling, stripping away their pride, dignity, and stable income. 2 weeks later, Father sat in the living room, hands trembling like a man who had lost everything. Mother's eyes were red, teeth chattering. They had never imagined I could make them feel powerless. Step 5. The conclusion. That night, they summoned me to the living room. Father's voice shook. Can you retract all this? What do you want from us? We'll treat you well, we promise. For the first time, he lowered his head, not in repentance but in fear. Mother held my hand. Please, this is a family. You can't do this. I asked. When you yelled at me, pushed me away, did you ever think about what home means? They were silent. I took out my independent living approval and internship contract. I'm moving out tomorrow. This isn't up for discussion. Mother panicked. You can't go. What will people say? How will we face anyone? Father roared. Try leaving if you dare. I pressed the recorder again. He immediately went silent. Mother even fell to her knees, clutching my pants. I didn't flinch or gloat. I just watched them finally taste the helpless rage they once inflicted on me. I said softly, You want me here, not out of love, but because you fear the power I have to hurt you. Silence dropped like a closed door. I turned, packed my bag, and walked to the hall. Mother sobbed. Can we still see you? I stopped. Through proper notice, through proper channels. By the rules. I closed the door. Outside, the air was cold and clean, like a newly opened exit. The stairwell light stayed steady as I went down. No footsteps behind me. True freedom wasn't escape. It was independence after revenge.